Thank you, Dr. Pushkar, the Direct Center Goa. We are indeed grateful to the ICG for being a beacon of high cultural and intellectual activity of the... has asked me not to speak much about him. And by Damodar Mauzo, his fellow co-curator, is equally modest. But I would only like to say this one thing, that over the last, been in Goa, has settled in Goa back from the US. He has soldiered producing the Peacock magazine for the International Film Festival of India. He has worked for 10 long years, and this is the 11th year on
First of all, what a great job Jose is doing. Thank you for handling this important role once again, this sale. Above, a big hand please for Jose Lorenzo. Nirupa, Pushkar, Yatin and Bhai. Dear friends, this is a festival that, the 11th edition of a festival. Beautiful, I'm trying to take in as much as possible today. What is happening today with these kinds of distinguished delegates and guests? Possible to imagine when Bhai and I started to conceive of this event along with the ICG and his then director, and then later with the stalwart support of Yatin Kakodkar. Tourism was starting to grow explosively in our beautiful little state. But nonetheless, Goa was routinely treated. It is as though it's some kind of kitschy, exotic periphery with some rustic, folksy charm. And, you know, eccentric people who you can't really compute in a one-dimensional way. Certainly very far from what is the mainstream culture of our great country. We are told that big writers and big books, maybe they will come from the Hindi heartland. Certainly they will come from the grand Bengali tradition of Dr. Banerjee, London, New York, South Bombay. But not Goa. Our great Goan laureate, and who is a constant inspiration for this festival. I'm so pleased to see Nirupa has put her words on this painting, beautiful painting. Thank you, Nirupa. Eunice D'Souza, who's an inspiration for this festival, put it typically acerbically. My students think it's funny that Daruwalas and D'Souzas should write poetry. Poetry is fairy lands forlorn. Women writers miss Austen. Only foreign men air their crotches. Eunice, how I miss her. But here's the thing, as writers know best of all, and so do economists like Dr. Banerjee, the conventional wisdom is almost invariably wrong, misguided, and turned on its head by the facts of life as we really know and live them. The astonishing cultural history of this ancient slice of the Konkan coastline, which encompasses General Cardoz and Mustansir Dalvi and Rahman Abbas and Yatin Kakodkar and myself and Mr. Ahmad Khan Khalap. This astonishing cultural history of this ancient slice of the Konkan coastline, and indeed the entire Konkan and Malabar coastlines and the west coast of India, almost always falls entirely out of the broad strokes depictions and portrayals of Indian history, Indian culture, and Indian identity. In my opinion, it is a great loss, partly for us, but mostly for India itself. We know that this ancient island of Tiswadi, Dr. Banerjee, the ancient island of Tiswadi where we are on right now, has been connected profoundly to the world for at least 3,000 years. And possibly earlier than that, a full 1,000 years to the Sumerians. We know that over 1,000 years ago, the Kadamba kings, who very close to this point had their ancient kingdom, had their ancient capital, had the cosmopolitan foresight to appoint an Arab chief minister. This is 1,000 years ago. General Cardoz and I, General Cardoz is one of the greatest raconteurs I've met in my life. In a short period of time, he's told me 3 amazing stories. But General Cardoz and I were talking about this earlier. Our ancestors have navigated long eras of peaceful coexistence that are almost unparalleled. The colonial period did begin with a brief bloodbath, but Alfonso de Albuquerque's men decapitated the previous rulers, leaving the natives largely unscathed. They persisted and flourished and embraced the world and have held on to their homeland too. Another great laureate of this land, Bakibab Borkar, put it most beautifully some 50 years ago. Tribals, Dravidians, Aryans, Assyrians, Sumerians, they all settled in this territory through the course of several centuries. But Goa's scenic beauty humanized them all so insistently and efficiently that they amalgamated into a single society with one common language and one cultural heritage. The kinship and cooperation forged unto them by the aesthetic impact of Goa's rich scenery taught them the art of living in peace and friendship and inspired them to strive for nobler ideals. That is the Goans. It is not what you recognize being filtered through Bollywood or through our own various scenes. This is the Goans. This is the backdrop to the festival. We are beginning anew this beautiful January evening in the river breeze. These days we are being told very often what is Indian and who is Indian. But if you ask me, this is the best that India can be, and the rest of India should be more like us. Wow. Dear friends, a couple of weeks ago I was privileged to represent us all, stroke of miraculous luck, at the Dhaka Literature Festival, a pulsating, extraordinary event held in an almost apocalyptic atmosphere that was both shattering and incredibly thrilling at the same time. We have an eyewitness here, Ifat Nawaz, the wonderful Bangladeshi novelist, was here and confirmed these things. They happened almost 2 weeks ago in another part of the South Asia that is almost unrecognizably different from what we're experiencing here. But in that crucible, I spent some time every day talking about the Indian Ocean world and Zanzibar and East Africa, and of course the East African Goans, with the most recent Nobel Prize winner for literature, the distinguished novelist Abdul Razak Gurna, who promised me that he will attend GALF the next time if we invite him. As this wonderful gentleman and I expanded our exchange, little bits of conversation spread out over many days in very pleasant company. He kept on viewing and analyzing the world and discussing it through the prism of Zanzibar. And he always said again and again to me, Zanzibar is very small, but it's important. It's such a terrific place, a terrific prism for him to view human existence that he created one of the great herbs of our time from it. Friends, Goa is also small, but it is equally important. Just look around these lawns and feel the moment, and you know it's true. Thank you so much, Dr. Banerjee, for coming and blessing this occasion. Thank you so much, Major General Ian Cardoz. Major General Ian Cardoz has never been invited to Goa to be celebrated as the Goan hero. GALF has done it first. I feel humbled at this opportunity. On behalf of Bhai Damodar Mauzo and the rest of our Goa Writers Group, Jose, many others, I'd like to sincerely thank the International Center and most especially Yatin Kakotkar, who has absolutely made it happen, as well as Pushkar, Nilima, Teja, the entire team for bringing our baby back from limbo. Welcome to GALF.
You've peeled off the layers of the onion and revealed the Goan beneath. There's Heta Pandit, there's Anirudh Sen Gupta there's Isabel Santarita Vaz, we are Salil, yes, Salil and Salil Chaturvedi. And it's a collection, I think there's Prava, is Prava Rai? There's Prava, hi Prava, these are all friends that we keep meeting. So